Hello guys, welcome to this video of weird tricks and things in Black Desert. This is kind of things probably that you may or may not already know, but it's about Black Desert's strange problems and quirks about the game. So one of the things that I probably want to go through is that for newer players, if you somehow get your hands on a bookshelf, you could put your character to reading. It takes 3600 seconds, which is equivalent to an hour, and you can hit escape, disconnect, and switch to a character while that character researches. Quite literally. Okay, and so while that character is reading, which would actually be in this spot right here or whatnot, she is actually reading, by the way. You can hit escape, disconnect, and if I go here, it says right here, reading a book. You might go like, well, what's the point of that? Well, reading a book is basically she's researching knowledge for me. And that's how you can possibly get some of these things that are like nigh impossible to learn, such as like ecology and boss, for instance. I'm assuming some of these can be learned from it. There are certain bookshelves that just give a random knowledge of anything in the game, such as this one here. I think this is the cash shop one. There's other ones with categories in it, such as if somebody's bored enough to actually sell it, like knowledge bookshelf with knowledge on Kazarka followers. I have that book somewhere in my room, but apart from that, that's what you can do with bookshelves, and you can craft them in Calphion as well, actually, from the library somewhere over here. It does require some kind of knowledge, so if you have a whole category full of sea knowledge, just turn it into a bookshelf and just reset the whole category, and then have your other character research it while you're trying to roll an S rank. That's basically how you can do it without actually even killing monsters. The other one is, another weird trick is, this one is really strange. If you just hit escape and you open your marketplace and then close it again, you get an increase of FPS of like 10 to 20 frames easily. This has to do with a more core understanding of like just coding and a little bit of programming in general. There is a massive memory leak to do with the marketplace, but for some reason when you close this, it sorts out all the resources and dumps that, and off you go. Otherwise, the other way is a little more convoluted, where you have to go into your task manager and select a certain process to kill off, which is actually the UI window in the game. It's all legit, trust me, but it's a very weird ass workaround in order to defeat the memory leak that is causing your game to stutter. This is literally for a quality of life improvement. Other things is like purchasing. I assume a lot of new players is probably sick and tired of clicking something and then clicking buy, and then you have to set this and then the number here, and then it says F or whatever, and then it says enter. You can actually hit this and press R. If you just press the key R, you will get maximum right here, right away. You just click R. Every other person that uses the market is going to hate me now, probably because they're like, this is such a secret. It's like, you know, you can buy the max amount, and then you just hit spacebar. Okay, you click this R and then spacebar, and you get the maximum amount. And now I've just paid off somebody like 1.1 mil buying their beer. So that's how you buy the maximum of something, okay? Very useful, very quick, helps you with your life, and especially for buying rare things like sharp shards and hard shards that people always post. But everybody buys that all the time, and the other way is to literally just mash your spacebar as you click down each and every single one when you click buy, just to go through, just to buy one at a time. Yeah, oh god, this competition is going to be so much harder for me after this. But anyways, apart from that, other tricks that a lot of players don't seem to know is that you can actually send your game to the tray. So then it's kind of like if you just want to leave your computer overnight fishing or something, you click end game, send a tray when quitting, and this is pretty much your end game. Okay, it sends your game to the tray, and if I do this right now, it's going to kill my recording, so I'm not going to do that. But that will send your game to the tray, which will be in the bottom right side of your start menu, usually, unless you have your operating system edited somehow, or you're just a mad hardcore UI tweaker at home. And finally, another trick to do, this one's a little bit more of a visual, that one's a little bit harder. It's to do with your ship. So a lot of people don't understand how the ship's RAM works. the sailboat to ram into things. It's not actually a collision detection. How it actually works is that, say here's your target, for instance. This is your target, my hand here, and you want to hit it. So you don't cast ram here. If you cast ram here, you'll fly right through your target. How it actually works is that it propels your ship a certain distance, and then it casts an AoE puddle in front of it and near the end of its animation. And that's how this thing works. I don't know why they did it as such, because that's not exactly the idea of ramming something. Okay, you will fly right through them. Generally, it's more of a collision like the Tamer's Moonlight Strike, but it's not. So for some reason, they coded it as, here, launch this object forward and then cast this AoE puddle in the front of it at the end of its animation. And that's how it works, just so you can wrap your head around the whole idea. Other things is that if you need to turn your wagon around like hyper fast, you need to make sure it's on like an auto walk hook point. And that's basically the hook points you'll notice is like, oh, I had one there. There's like a hook point like right here. Right where my mouse is, right over here. This is a hook point. You can see where the arrows turns there. If you have a wagon and it hits that hook point on auto walk, your wagon will literally whip around in an angle, and you'll watch the huge thing in the back fly around like a ragdoll physics, and it just looks jarring, but it's also hilarious as shit. As well with horses, if you want to make a massive sharp turn, same thing. You just, as soon as you make that angle and you jump into the hook point, and you will literally in mid-air do a sharp angle turn and go around the other end. Okay, that is a weird thing to see, but it is working, and I have no idea why it does so. But I mean, that's what happens. So if you don't have drift, you can use that to suddenly make a sharp turn if you're really good at making waypoints and being like absolutely bored and want to play around with the weird quirks of Black Desert Online. One of the other things is transporting your horses around. You'll need multiple characters for this, which is why I also say make all your characters at the beginning of the game. For any new player, for any existing player, fill all your character slots. So whatever horse you have taken out on this character, if you go disconnect and then you hit transport and you select the destination, you can send this character to anywhere that is generally connected across the world. Except for Valencia. If you want to use the transport system, you can transport to any of the towns, any of the major towns across the mainland here. So say, for instance, you want to send a character to Trent, for instance, just a chop, well, you can just do that instead of running it there by yourself. But it all takes 1 hour. So what the strategy here with this quality of life is that if you have a life skilling character, you send that character to wherever you want it to go do something, and then you switch over to your other character and do something else for an hour while that one goes over there. And then once that hour passes, your character will be in that town, and then you can do whatever the heck you plan to do, and while your other character had that free hour, rather than running there pointlessly and wasting your time kind of thing, unless you're training a horse sort of thing. So this is why I have multiple characters going across. So for instance, I could finish chopping something here in Trent or whatever, and then afterwards I send my character all the way over to Sandgrain Bazaar. The only thing you have to do is just run across the desert to reach Valencia. Valencia only has transport available up to Ancado Inner Harbor. So that's another thing. The only thing that is restricted is that you cannot do this with trade items, obviously, because that would be crazy good. But in any case, if you need to set up your characters to move somewhere, or even go after bosses while having to move them everywhere yourself manually, which is quite tedious, use the transport system. Literally click transport, select the destination, wherever you wanted to go. It'll take 1 hour for them to position there, and then afterwards select the character you want to switch to as a transport. So then obviously, you know, your character will be in transport for 1 hour. If you log back into that character before that hour is over and there's the timer on there, then it will still be in the same spot that it was in because you didn't let it finish transporting. So it is literally kind of like a bit of a teleport system for your characters. And that's those are some tricks and things that I hope helps you out with Black Desert. Also guys, if you have for some reason some ungodly amount of contribution that you have unspent, you can rent these adventure seals from generally lords of or chiefs of major towns, and they'll give you a quest for it, and that quest basically gives you a free armor stone or armor stone and weapon stone, or together. for literally nothing, and then you can just hand the seal back in and get your contribution back every day. There's one in Velia here for 20 CP. There's another one in Heidel for 60, I think, and then I know the one in Calpheon's 100 CP. That's only if you have a freak ton of CP that you're not in use for some odd reason. So, yeah, that's that. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching this. I hope this granted you some kind of improvement within the game, and hopefully it helps you navigate the game itself a little bit better, especially that marketplace one. God, until then, I will see you all next time. Bye bye for now.